Hey guys, Keegan here with the Media Men, and this week was the season premiere of Flash and Arrow. Now, we know that most people watching this video have probably already seen these two, so this video is going to contain spoilers. If you haven't seen the episodes yet, then definitely go check them out before you watch this.
Or if you don't care, then watch it anyway.
Yeah, we'll be talking about some good stuff, so stick around. I think you'll quite enjoy it. But we're going to break this up since there's a lot to talk about in these first two episodes. So, we will start with Flash. Now, Flash seemed pretty episodic in nature, it felt like, as a season premiere, not so outlining where the season's going to take us, but we did learn a few things where some villains have come through this portal that have wrapped up. So, what did you guys think about that, Lucas and Ben?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of making it feel like a premiere for sure, without, trying to start off too much stuff off the bat, kind of like Supergirl did, as you talked about in another video, Keegan.
Yeah, no, Supergirl just tried to cram everything in there, but, I mean, I guess our viewers probably haven't seen that yet, since I don't think it premieres until the 26th of October.
That's so far away. I wonder why they're premiering it so much later than the other ones.
They might not have quite as big of a winter break as Arrow and Flash get, so that could be a reason. It's also premiering on CBS, I believe.
Even though 6 months' time had passed, which I have a slight problem with that because that's a big time gap. It didn't feel like that much time had passed. They did a good job of not making it feel like, wow, you just skipped 6 months. It was just more of like, all right, we're back to a point where stuff actually matters and is happening and relevant. And it wasn't as action-packed, obviously, because it's the start, but they definitely picked up where they left off. It was still very engaging of an episode, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I had one kind of slight issue with it, and it was that season 1 ended, and this was this huge black hole destroying the whole city, and they really just spent about 5 minutes on it in this episode premiere, yeah. And they were just like, yep, they fixed it. All right, let's move on. So I thought it was gonna be they really had to do something, and it was gonna take more than just a couple minutes to fix, but. I guess Barry runs quick.
I don't know how much they could have made that, how much time they could have devoted to that, because it was already swallowing stuff at a drastic rate. I mean, much more time than that, and they would have been beyond repair,
Yeah,
so they did have to resolve it kind of quickly, in that sense, because otherwise.
I see what you're saying. I just think that they'll probably explain more about it as the season goes on, because they were showing flashbacks, so I'm sure we're going to get more flashbacks to it, but they didn't really explain what happened. I don't really understand at all how they closed the black hole, because it was Barry ran fast, but apparently he needed them to split up and then break their atom splitting or something stops the black hole. Maybe they won't go further into that because they did give a brief explanation. I just think it was wrapped up really, really quickly. It felt like it was just kind of a tool in which to get Earth 2 involved.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but if they were going to wrap it up in 5 minutes, I feel like they should have just done that in the season finale last season and then had some other cliffhanger to hook you in,
Yeah.
If they're going to solve the problem in 5 minutes, what was the point?
I don't know. This was a pretty good cliffhanger. I don't know if I agree with that.
The cliffhanger was really good.
It gave the setup for the whole season, though. The premise of this season is entirely based on what happened, the after effects of that hole. So I think if they had closed it before the season ended, this season's, I don't know, it just made these events seem more drastic.
I don't think they could have actually had a better cliffhanger than that. That was a pretty monumental cliffhanger, so I don't really know what they would have given us as a cliffhanger after that. But I just think that sometimes cliffhangers, they bring you back because you want to see what happens. But if you could have watched it in a 2-minute YouTube video of what happened, then it's kind of well, cool. But, that was the only real, not even issue, just thing that I firstly noticed in the episode. But the other thing that I noticed is it was a very episodic nature, almost, in a fact, they didn't set up a lot that Arrow has set up.
No. Yeah, Arrow feels like it's set up its whole season.
Yeah, they have a quest.
Flash, it's we know that a villain came through from wherever.
Yeah. All we know is Zoom is there.
Yeah, we know about Zoom, but they didn't, set up a tangible goal. yet, really.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at as well.
The previous Flash episodes were episodic in nature too. They're always episodic, but then they furthered the story also.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and it was interesting to see that the metahuman from this episode was actually from Earth 2.
Yeah, that was interesting. Though the Atom Smasher in the comics is a good guy, and he's dead in Barry's timeline, I guess.
Yeah, it does look like that. So I'm wondering if in Earth 2 they have like mirror images of the other people, because we know like it's a different Flash. Obviously, it's not the same actor playing him, and it's a different guy altogether. So there are definitely people that are different, but I'm wondering if they're like mirror images, like when Cisco saw like Caitlin becoming Killer Frost, then I'm assuming that's from Earth 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that as well. I can't see this Caitlin becoming Killer Frost. I guess it's possible, but if
because she lost Ronnie again, so that gives the motivation for it.
It's true.
but she seems like it's been 6 months. It seems like she's kind of like cried it out already, and now she's like trying to move on. I mean, she's witnessed him die twice. I feel like if she didn't flip a shit and then become Killer Frost by now, then I don't know. Maybe she has some seething anger deep down.
Yeah, that could very well be it. But I mean, she's kind of like such a integral part of the story now, like kind of almost like a Felicity type role. I mean, could we all really see Felicity going bad? Maybe, but it just seems far stretched to me. I think Earth 2 might be an easier way to have a bad Caitlin.
If Felicity went bad, they would all be doomed. She would outsmart all of them, like, easily.
Yeah, but she doesn't have the combat skills. But
no one would ever get close enough to her that it mattered.
Perhaps.
I don't know. Probably won't happen to find out.
Probably not. But another thing that I really liked in Flash is he got his new suit with the white and gold for the Flash symbol.
I wouldn't say it's a new suit. They really just replaced the emblem on the front.
Oh, yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks better. But, like, I hope that's, like, not the suit that the future Barry was wearing, because it looked more, like, bright red and less, like, mixed textures and stuff.
Yeah.
The one.
No, I think the future one was still a little different, but Cisco said he took inspiration from the new Flash suit. He didn't say he took the new Flash suit.
How did Cisco, did he see the other Flash?
Yeah, remember when they walked in and saw the newspaper?
Oh, right. That's what it was based on.
Another thing that I noticed in the premiere that I thought was interesting and worth noting is that this was the first time that the whole Flash team just straight up killed someone.
Yeah, that was weird.
They did not try to capture this metahuman or anything. They just straight pumped radiation into him until he was dead as shit.
Well, I don't know if they thought he would die.
I didn't know. I think
that was definitely
the
purpose of it.
Well, I thought it was just to overload him, and then
that's what I thought.
He wouldn't be able to do anything. I thought they were trying to incapacitate him with it, but I mean, maybe they knew it would kill him, but they definitely did straight up murder him.
As smart as they are, they should know that amount of if the radiation became too much for him to handle, it would kill him.
Yeah, that's.
But why would they know that? It's a metahuman.
Because radiation kills people.
Yeah, but he's a metahuman who eats radiation or absorbs it.
Yeah, I don't think they knew all of the...
I don't know why they would assume that it would hurt him.
Yeah, I don't think they knew all the facts, but I'm sure they knew there was risk, but I don't know if they were intentionally trying. They did still murder someone, but I don't know if it was like intentional, like, let's find a way to murder this dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it was like premeditated, but I think they were okay with it at least.
Yeah.
They seemed too okay with it. Maybe he's not dead, but the way Barry was talking...
None of them were even like, guys, we killed him.
Yeah, that's true.
There was no like, oh my gosh, he's dead. It was just like, who's Zoom? And then it went away.
I hope they bring that up. He might not be dead, so this could all be for naught, but it seemed like he was definitely dead.
Do we think we know the identity of Zoom, or do we think he's going to be a whole new character?
I think he's going to be a new character. Or, like, I hope he's not, like, Harrison Wells.
Speaking of Wells, I'm pretty sure he's still in this season. So
Well, I know he's in it, and I know he's not playing the Reverse Flash character.
yeah, do we think it's going to be flashbacks and stuff, or do we think he's going to come back somehow?
No, I think there's gonna be like an Earth 2 Harrison Wells. Though they didn't really like go into detail about, like, I understand that, okay, Eddie killed himself, so that erased that Harrison Wells from history. But like nothing else changed except for like their direct lineage. So what I want to know is, I would just want them to explain that more. I felt like they can't just sweep that under the rug, because otherwise it's kind of a plot hole.
It's definitely a paradox, but I mean, they might explain it.
I couldn't believe that Eobard confessed to the murder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was interesting.
that was really
like-
awesome.
My guess for the reason why he did that was that he was just admitting defeat, but I also think that showed on some level he did not hate Barry, and he actually liked who Barry was becoming.
Yeah, I think
He definitely liked Barry.
Even in defeat, if you truly hated someone, you wouldn't free their dad from prison and make them happy.
No. The whole problem I have with this is that Harrison Wells didn't kill him. Didn't kill Barry's mom. Eobard Thawne did. I mean, there's just no way that they can say that, but I'm wondering how that's going to go with Harrison Wells being back in the series somehow. Unless it's just flashbacks, because now they think he's dead and a murderer. So they kind of tarnished his whole legacy.
Do you think we're going to meet the Jay Garrick in this universe, in Earth?
I'm going to assume that he doesn't exist in this timeline.
That's
Or in
what I
this
thought too.
Universe. No.
He has to.
Not necessarily. If he's just the Flash from their time. I mean, there could be a Jay Garrick, but I don't think he's like has Flash powers or anything.
Yeah, I know. I don't think so either. Just like I don't think that Barry Allen in Earth 2 is anything special.
I don't know.
I guess that's pretty irrelevant.
I didn't even think about it.
I think it'd be funny if they like had him be like a metahuman of a different power or something, and it was Jay Garrick of this Earth. I thought that'd be funny.
That'd be interesting. Did you watch the preview for the next episode?
Oh yeah, I did. That was the one where it's now Jay Garrick that's kind of teaching Barry a little bit about being the Flash.
Yeah, what I don't understand is he said, let me just show you how to defeat this guy from Earth 2. But then I'm like, well, why don't you just beat him if you know how to beat him? So does he not have his Speed Force? Like, why would he need to know how to beat this guy when he's, like, ideally going to go back to Earth 2?
Yeah, I feel like there has to be... They didn't show him running at all in Earth 1, I don't think.
No, it seems like maybe he lost his connection to the Speed Force. But
Well,
I thought the
in a
Speed
different
Force like
dimension.
existed outside of like the universe. Like it was like a...
I thought so too.
Because that to me wouldn't make sense, because the metahuman that came through didn't lose his ability just because it was a different dimension.
Well, Barry's abilities are different from other metahumans. His isn't like
Biological mutation.
I mean, it is, but
Well, it is.
it's like connected to something else, whereas all the other metahumans are like inherent. Like they don't have like a existential power that they're drawing from. Whereas
Yes, they do.
Whereas Barry is drawing from the Speed Force, their bodies are changed and they don't need anything else.
The guy needed radiation. He literally was the first example we saw.
Right, but the Speed Force might exist. Like radiation is radiation no matter where you're from. So maybe the Speed Force is different from universe to universe, because the Speed Force isn't a concept that like exists in reality.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a plausible explanation.
It's like a concept that's different from radiation because...
Have they explained at all what the Speed Force is yet?
Not really.
I was gonna say, Wells brought it up briefly at one point, but he never said anything about what it is or.
I mean, how cool would it be to have two Flashes going up against Zoom? That'd be sweet.
It'd be cool. I would very much enjoy that.
How about
Okay.
two Flashes, a Zoom, and a Reverse Flash?
That would be quite the matchup.
I still feel like the Reverse Flash had a cooler costume than Barry.
I didn't like that this metahuman was so difficult for Barry. Like, why was he as fast as Barry?
That's what I was thinking too.
Barry should have been able to beat the shit out of him without him ever touching him.
Well, I don't think his hits would have affected him at all, but he definitely was faster.
Like,
Yeah,
he was
I don't-
blocking Barry.
It seems like Barry... I mean, it seems like he was just taking the hit, but even if he wasn't, it seems like Barry doesn't understand the concept of, like, moving his arms that fast.
Yeah, like
Yes, he does because he made the wind. He spun his
Well,
arms
yeah,
really
but
fast.
that's
That's
only
true.
when he's focusing on it. He's not focusing on fighting, running, dodging, hitting at the same time. Like I don't think he's not a good enough fighter to have that natural reactions.
I just didn't like that
Interesting.
someone was able to knock his punch out of the way.
I think I don't know.
I feel like it's just because he's not an adept fighter. So I think that the problem with Barry is that he's just not an adept fighter yet, and I think that's why. That's what I'm gonna go with.
But no
if
one
it does
else at
ever
normal
improve-
speed has been able to block any of his hits like that before.
Well,
That's
they
not
kinda
true.
had that with the guy that could turn to steel or
Yeah,
metal.
that dude definitely was blocking his punches.
It's because he looks like he's throwing them not at super speed.
Well, that's just because he was turning to steel, though.
Still what?
Definitely
It was-
caught Barry and
It wasn't like knocking his arms out of the way.
I always had a problem. I thought that through the whole first season that there were way too many people that were able to block his punches.
Well, because it never looks like he's throwing them at super speed. He always like stops in front of them and then punches them normally.
Yeah,
I don't think they haven't like gone into slow motion of him punching them and then someone just blocking it. He's like just punching normally.
Yeah, I don't think he's moving at lightning speed when he does it because I just don't think he like has the physical capability to be that kind of fighter yet. I'm sure he'll like gain that as he develops, but I think just right now he does a super speed to run away and then comes up really fast and then stops to punch. He doesn't like do it all in one motion.
He has
Yeah.
before, though.
When?
Grodd.
That's true. But at the same time when he did that, he like stopped and then did his super speed punches.
I also think that despite the fact that they may have killed Adam Smasher in this episode, I think he has to like pull the punches somewhat. Because if you're coming at someone throwing a punch at like 200, 300 miles per hour, I mean that'll kill most people. So I think he's like he's learning how to do it. I don't know.
203 is a very specific speed, Ben.
I said 200 or 300.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
203 miles per hour.
Opposed to 202.
677 kilometers per hour. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that he just isn't a good fighter yet. But I think that's something that they do have to address. Otherwise, it's like, come on. Like, eventually, Heatwave and Captain Cold just shouldn't be able to do anything to him. He should just be able to snatch the weapon out of their hand and disassemble it and then knock them out.
Because
Yeah.
he's done stuff like that before. Like, he disarmed he gave an entire room an antidote before someone could do anything.
Yeah, so he clearly can move that fast and do it. But he was
I still
focused
like
on
the
doing it.
inconsistencies in his speed having a positive effect on what he can and can't do.
Yeah, I think they're
I mean, there's
only
a
doing
difference
that
between
because...
reacting to a fight and being like, okay, I'm going to run to every person in this room and give them an antidote.
Yeah, I think there are differences, but I also think that it's kind of the writers, like, trying to make him, like, interesting and give him, like, characters that can actually, like, go up against him, even though, like, if you made him all consistent, no one should be able to ever touch him.
Except, unless he fights someone that's as fast as him, but yeah.
Well, yeah, if he fights, like, Zoom or Reverse Flash, then that would be, like, the only situation in which you could have, like, an actual fight at, like, super speed, but otherwise, any other character shouldn't pose any threat.
Yeah, I mean, he really shouldn't be fighting normal people at all. They should either be, like, super strength or super fast or outwitting him in some way. I don't have much else to say about it. I thought it was a really good episode overall, though. I had,
yeah.
like, minor flaws, but...
I thought so too. I thought it was very interesting, and I'm excited to see how they make Zoom different than Reverse Flash, since he kind of has the same power in the comics, at least.
He's a different character.
He is, but he's just kind of another version of the Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Well, the Zoom in the comics is Hunter Zolomon, I think, and I don't think that's what they're going for. The Blue Lightning thing is not something characteristic of any of the Reverse Flashes, I don't think. So we'll see where it goes. It could be interesting. See, I can't imagine anyone else playing Flash now, though. Like, Grant Gustin is Flash.
I agree. I think the guy who's gonna play Jay Garrick, though, I think he looks good. I think he looks the part for the version of
so,
Flash
too.
he's playing.
He pulls
Yeah,
off the old school look real good.
Yeah, I agree. But the Flash in the cinematic universe, I feel like they should just get Grant Gustin to play.
Well, they got some other schmuck.
Yeah, but like he doesn't look like the Flash as much as Grant Gustin does.
He does not. Maybe, they could transform him. We never know.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, guys. Well, next up, we got Arrow.
What did we think about that? That was much crazier, and I think there was a lot more happening in that episode. I thought it was very chock full of information and tidbits that really are setting up the rest of the season.
Well, Keegan, I thought it was trash and the worst thing I've ever seen.
I think you're lying.
No, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I personally am like still emotionally distraught after the episode with all the different feels that were going on from all the different directions. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
I don't know. It was a lot to wrap your head around between Diggle's whole like spite he's holding to.
Yeah, he's still really upset with Oliver. It seems like.
Yeah, his speech was like mean. Like it wasn't even like. I didn't even think it was fair.
He called him as dark as Ra's al Ghul.
Like, calm down. Like, no.
I just think that, I mean, look, even his wife has gotten over it. So, like, it's time to at least, listen to Oliver. You don't have to keep shunning him through the
I thought after his wife talked to him, he was going to approach Oliver and talk to him about it. Because he was like, you know what, you're right, you're a better person than me, that's why I love you. And they kissed, and then it was like, oh, so he's going to be okay with it now. And then they just went back to, you're darker than Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Like, his little speech, like, I'm perfectly fine with him needing more time or whatever. But, like, you're as dark as Ra's al Ghul. That's why it was so easy for you. You can't love. Like, come on. That was a little much.
And then you got Oliver, like, actually wanting to move on beyond it. Like, he was genuinely upset that Felicity wasn't letting it go.
Yeah. Though I'm glad
he was ready to be done with the team.
I'm glad that didn't like cause a lot of friction because the relationship is awesome.
Really? I don't like it.
I love it.
That's the one part of the show that I am not a huge fan
I feel like you don't like it because she cried a lot last season.
She did. It was every episode. Oh my god.
No, it didn't bother me, but I did hear that criticism a lot from people. But it seemed like she was pretty on the ball in this one when she was like, I don't know why we're still talking. We should go help our friends. Like, I thought that was great.
I thought it was cool. I mean, I think she can't be happy with him either, though. Like, I know she says she loves him and everything, but she was lying to him for, like, the past however long they've been gone, so.
Is it that, or do you just want him and Black Canary to end up together because that's how it is in the comics?
Well, that's how I want it anyway, but, like, on a completely, just, like, if these were two characters that I knew nothing about, I would think she's, going behind his back all the time. And, like, just hiding secrets all the time.
I didn't have the same problem. I just didn't. They
went over a whole list of times that she was just like, oh, yeah, I lied to you then. And then, yeah, that time, too. Like,
yeah, but I don't think that's, like, it means that the relationship is a bad relationship.
I don't think it's a bad relationship. I just don't personally like it.
Well, then I hope that they continue and get married by the end of season 5.
No, she's dead, remember? Didn't you see the end of that episode? She's gone.
If that grave is her grave.
I hope it's not.
I don't think it is. They were definitely alluding to it being Felicity, but I don't think it is.
I think they cut it in such a way to make you think it was Felicity, but I feel like it's like Thea or Diggle or something.
It's not Thea.
Really? I think Thea's probably no, she's not.
I feel like they already did it, so like the emotional impact of her dying would be like, oh.
Yeah, it's true.
The only reason I'm sort of thinking it's somewhat, it's got to either be Thea. I mean, not Thea. I'm sorry. To me, it's got to either be Felicity or like
Felicity or Diggle are the only two that I could possibly.
Oh, you know who it could be?
Well, my reasoning is that Barry showed up and was like, "Sorry, I missed the funeral." So it has to be someone Barry would feel inclined to go to the funeral for.
Well, anyone from Team Arrow, he would feel inclined to go.
I don't think so.
No, that and
like Thea. He doesn't know Thea.
But, like, Laurel he knows Felicity, Diggle.
He knows of them, but he doesn't know any, like, I don't know, like, my brother's friends, would you go to their funeral?
Yeah, well, he's friends with Oliver, though. It would be like going to, like, one of your friends that we don't hang out with, funeral with you.
I don't think you would do that.
I think if you invited us, we would.
I think so, too. But I also think he knows Diggle. I mean, clearly... Star Labs has been working on, like, Cisco's been working on Diggle's helmet, so he's definitely been there a couple times in the last 6 months.
I think Diggle's viable. I think Diggle's a viable option.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think
it's
but I don't think Laura or Officer Lance are viable.
I think Officer Lance is definitely viable. I feel like they've been setting him up to die for a while.
It's not Laurel either, though. There's no way
it's not Laurel. I mean, the whole point of Sarah dying was so the torch could be passed to her, or part of the reason anyway.
And I don't think he would want time alone, like, to cry at the grave if it was Officer Lance, unless he caused it.
Yeah, I feel like he'd blame himself. Maybe that's why he was crying. I don't think it's like, I feel like it's just very misleading, and we're going to be very surprised to learn who it is. Because someone is definitely dead in 6 months.
Yeah, but the way he was stroking the grave, it was someone he truly loves. It wasn't someone who was like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he feels that way about all his friends, though.
Not about Officer Lance, though.
Yeah, unless he caused it, but I
don't think he would be caressing the grave like that.
No, I don't think it's.
That's why I think it has to be a girl.
I mean, it could be if they're like trying to manipulate us into thinking it's like Felicity or Laurel. You know what I mean? Like
we also don't even know if someone's actually dead. There's always the option that they like fake someone's death because they've done it before. I mean, like maybe Oliver wasn't in on it or something. I don't know. That's kind of a lesser option since he was so emotional about it. So it's probably someone he definitely thinks is dead at least.
I mean, if it's Felicity, I think it'd be like interesting for the story, but I really don't want it to be Felicity.
I don't think it will be. Like,
even though it's so obvious that it can't be her, I still think she is the most likely option.
I think so too, and I just don't see the writers writing her out of the script yet. Like,
she's a really popular character. I can't see that happening either.
She's so like loved by so many fans, so it's really hard to write a character like that off, which you haven't established that you kill off the most loved characters like they do in things like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they don't really do that.
Nah. But just a fun fact, the Easter egg, I don't know if you guys caught it or not. I know I told you already, Lucas, but when they were in Coast City in the flashback, and then Oliver was sitting at the bar with
Amanda
Waller. But they showed, when they were zooming in, there was a guy in an aviator jacket that said Jordan on it.
Ooh.
So that could be I mean, it's a pretty strong Easter egg to Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, obviously, because Coast City aviator, last name Jordan. I feel like that
could be Michael Jordan.
Could be Michael. I think they really want to put Green Lantern in, and they keep doing these Easter eggs until people are like, "Where's Green Lantern?" enough for Warner Brothers to be like, "Okay, fine."
It's not going to be Diggle though.
No.
People need to stop wishing that, because I don't want that either, though. I love Diggle.
I would be happy if he's Green Arrow. I mean, Green Lantern.
He could be John Stewart.
That would be sweet.
I'd be fine with that.
But I don't think it's him either. I just don't know that, like, I don't know if it would be someone that we know. I think it would be someone new if they were to introduce Hal Jordan. I don't see that happening in this season, though.
No. Damien Dark, though. Holy shit.
That man is crazy. So
I really like that they established him in the first episode. I mean, they really established him at the end of the last season, but they established him as like a threat.
Yeah.
Like a big threat. And
the guy playing him gives off the creepy vibe, too. Like he knows himself so well that he just doesn't fear you at all.
Yeah, he's very confident, like, through everything he does. He doesn't have a second thought about losing in any situation.
Yeah, they gave him he came on strong, the scene.
Yeah, he made a really good entrance, and I already think that's a better start than Season 3 had.
I think for sure it's better than Season 3. This is one of my favorite premieres, actually. I liked it more than the Flash one.
I did too.
Personally. I thought I was a little bit more engaged through the whole time, because they were explaining so much through the whole time.
Which I didn't think was possible after the way the 2 seasons ended. I thought there was no way the Flash premiere would be outdone.
No, I didn't think so either, but I was probably more impressed with Arrow this week.
And Flash was still really good, but I think Arrow was just...
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. It was excellent. And, like, so what do we think about Lance talking to Damien Dark at the end, though?
Yeah, I think after that boardroom conversation, he was like, all right, well, I don't want him to start killing people.
Why was he with him in the first place, though?
It looked like they had a setup for a while. Like, he knew where he lived. He went there. Like, it could have been right after that conference, but that was only a couple days. It looks like they had known each other for a while.
Mm-hmm. Because also when he walked in the room, Officer Lance was the only one that didn't, like, go crazy or freak out.
Yeah, he looked, like, upset, kind of. Like, he's like, why the hell are you here? Like, because he knew who it was. It felt like, to me, that's what I saw when I looked at Officer Lance back, knowing that what I know now.
Yeah, me too. He was like, don't try to leave. Let's, like, listen to what he's saying. Like, don't do it. Like, he wasn't trying to, like, who the hell are you and why are you in here? He was just, like, listening.
He was listening. He was telling everyone else to listen too. So like I feel like he already knew this guy was serious business.
Then why did he send those guys to kill him?
Well, I think there was a whole conspiracy going on. Like, I think he knew Damien Dark would get away with his plan or whatever. Or he didn't know the plan to the extent that it was happening. Because he didn't know that he was going to try to bomb the train station or whatever.
No, that's true.
So he knows him to an extent, but he still doesn't want to kill, civilians.
Right.
It's not like he's a complete, like, evil asshole now.
Yeah, I think he's just, like, kind of working with him because he feels like he has to, for whatever reason.
It looks like he was kind of being blackmailed in a sense. Like, maybe Dark knows about, like, Laurel or something and is like, I'll kill her if you don't help me out or something like that.
Oh, speaking of Laurel, I thought she had a lot of good little moments in this episode. I like when she saved the kid and then, like, winked at him. Like, that felt very, like, superhero-y. I don't know. I really enjoyed that scene.
That was really interesting.
Me too. I'm probably wrong about this, but did you think that kid could have possibly been a reference to Static, Ben? Little black kid in a yellow and blue shirt.
I mean, it's possible.
It was a black kid? I thought it was a white kid.
He was like light skinned, I thought.
It could have been. But no, yeah. Now that you bring it up, that would be an interesting reference because it was an interesting scene to put in there for no reason at all. Like,
yeah.
Because they took time to, like, film this little kid saying that and, like, looking directly at him and, like, they were looking directly at each other. So, like, it felt like there was more to him just than, like, you saved me. Like,
I think it was definitely more of a Laurel moment, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it is, I think at most it's an Easter egg.
Yeah, well, at most I think it would be an Easter egg as well. But it just, it felt like that.
Yeah.
The moment had a chemistry.
Yeah. I'm liking Laurel. I mean, I don't think that they handled her transition to Canary, like, that well. But, generally.
The fact that she learned how to fight the League of Assassins in, like, 5 weeks with, like, minor boxer training.
I mean, she was messing up for a while, and she, like, wasn't doing that well. But, like, the fact that she could even, like, not get killed.
Yeah. That's what impressed me, that she just didn't get killed. And, like, in a few of the scenes, like, took down some of those assassins who, like, Oliver had a tough time with. So, like...
What do you guys think is going on with Thea?
I think that she's lost part of her soul after being resurrected.
Yeah, some sort of residual effects from the Lazarus pit. That usually happens. Though I'm surprised they like, waited until now.
Yeah. I think they've always shown her being, like, after she was resurrected, she had, like, a little, like, more fire than she had before. But it wasn't until this episode where you really saw her about to, like, kill a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, like, they've shown in, like, the Batman comics when Jason Todd gets resurrected, like, he lost control of his, like, soul, so to speak.
He got it back, though. But his
eventually.
Was, like, an initial... It wasn't, like, a slow burn of, like...
No, it wasn't. He was also dead a lot longer.
That's true. He was dead for, like, a good while.
But I think that she's going to keep building up to a pretty exponential level.
Yeah, me too. I think she's going to end up killing someone, and then Oliver is going to be like, okay.
See, now, if it was her that was dead, then Barry might have still said, I'm sorry I missed it, because now it's your best friend's sister that's dead.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think it's Thea, but... If it is, I think it would be because she, like, lost control and someone put her down or something. And like, Barry would feel sorry for missing one of his friend's sister's deaths.
But the way Oliver was talking, where he was like, I can't let this go on anymore, or whatever, I have to kill him. Yeah. Like, it seemed like it was, like, that guy's fault that she's dead.
It's definitely Damien Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has something with Damien Dark for sure.
6 months from now is, like, the finale time. So that's like, we're not going to see that till the very end of the season.
Yeah. No, kind of mad that they did that.
It is kind of annoying. But it could also be mid-season finale. I guess that's not 6 months, but 6 months movie time could be.
Yeah, I mean, they could do a time skip.
How much time do you think passed between the season finale for Arrow and this? Because
they didn't say.
He was about to propose to Felicity.
I don't think much time passed. I think, like, maybe, 3 months or something.
But he was about to propose.
Yeah, it could have been 6 months. They could have been keeping the same scale as Flash. And just
that's my first
6
thought.
Months. That was kind of my first thought, too.
Who gets engaged after 6 months?
Alright, but they had been, like, kind of liking each other for a very long time. It wasn't like...
Same with him and Laurel and him and 3 other girls.
Yeah, but I think he felt much differently about Felicity and about where his life was at the time. Like, while he was the Arrow, he would have never proposed, I don't think, to anyone because he knew, like, it would just end badly. Which is why he knew he had to get out if he wanted to be with Felicity. So
he thought it would end badly.
Yeah, I think once he got out, he felt no more pressure for, like, their safety and such.
But a lot of something else we didn't talk about with Flash.
Right?
His dad leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I felt like there's more going on.
I thought it was too, but at the same time, I'm not super upset because I feel like if he was there, they would kill him. I think they would kill him off if he, like, stayed there with them for a while.
But, like, I felt like there's some sort of story going on there. Because if they just wanted him to be out of the way, they could have just left him in prison.
Yeah.
John Campbell, I didn't make that point. I was watching another recap of the episodes, and someone else made that point. But I think that's a good point. Like, I feel like if they just wanted to get rid of him, they would have just left him in jail.
There could be, like, a flashback to him talking to, like Eobard Thawne when he was Wells. And, like, Wells came to talk to him and was like, your son's, you're gonna get in his way or something, like, something along those lines, or just try and kind of scare him off.
That could be it.
I didn't think about that, but, well, that might be the reason why Wells let him out is something else that he knows happens in the future involving his dad.
Yeah. So I think that could be a very plausible scenario.
I expected when he was like, Barry, I need you to tell me it's okay. I thought it would have been very Barry-esque to be like, no, I need you here. And I expected him to say it full-heartedly, and I was surprised when he didn't.
Yeah, it seems like he's much more in control of his emotions.
Yeah, I think so too, but, like, I don't think he wants to disappoint his dad in any sense. So, like, I think he would have felt like he disappointed his dad if he had said no as much as he didn't want to.
But I don't understand, like, I felt like, I don't understand how he'd be in the way. Like, I just didn't understand the logic.
Either.
I didn't either. Because, like, he was like, I'll just be in your way, but he has a bunch of other people that help him out all the time that are not in his way. Like
maybe he thinks he won't do the Flash stuff if he has his dad back.
Like, he's going to feel obligated to spend time with his dad and be away, and, like, someone's going to suffer because of it somehow, but I think that's a bit of a stretch of a thought process.
Yeah, his dad could easily become part of Team Flash, and I would have no problems with it.
No, it's getting a little crowded in little Star Labs.
Well, they don't all have to be now,
at the same time. There's an opening.
Ah, yeah, there we go. There's an open slot available.
Well, okay. So that's what makes me think that there's something more going on.
Do they still have access to Gideon?
No. And I only know that because the showrunner said that. They said Gideon's just gone.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, so they can't, like, have knowledge of the future to cheat.
I wonder why they took it out. Just because it would be, like, kind of a crutch almost, I guess.
Yeah, because then they could just go talk to Gideon. I felt like...
but Gideon doesn't know this exact future.
Yeah.
That's true, but she knows...
I guess it could have kind of been like the Miracle Herbs and Arrow.
Yeah, and Barry makes her eventually. We know that, because she was like, who made you? She was like, you did.
So Barry's the coolest guy.
I'm so excited for whatever that leads. Flash is great. Arrow's good.
I wish it was just like season 8 of Flash.
That would be an awesome amount of Flash to watch. And we have just as much Arrow.
I love when new shows start back up, but at the same time, I'm like, I know it's not going to escalate to, like, where I want it to be for, like, a while. I'm going to be in suspense for weeks and weeks and weeks.
I think that's why Arrow could start the season off with such a bang, is because we're 3 seasons in now, so, like, they can go wherever they want with it in terms of, like, they don't need to establish anything. They can just kind of do it.
Yeah.
And people should be, like, aware of what's going on. So I think that's why it was such an epic premiere. Because, like, last season, there was still, like, we still knew of some threats that were lingering and stuff. This season, it was completely anew.
Yeah.
It's completely new. I really enjoyed Oliver's speech.
Yeah, one thing I had about the speech is he was standing awfully close to that camera with a lot of light.
Yeah, I was like, if someone, like, I don't think you'd be able to guess that it's Oliver.
If
like,
you squint a little bit, I feel like it would not be that hard to piece together.
I thought that also.
But, like, I feel like if you didn't, like, look at Oliver every day, I don't think you would notice that. But I think, like, anyone who knows Oliver that saw that would be like, that's Oliver Queen.
Or at the very least, people would see that is the same person who was the Arrow. Literally the same body.
Yeah, well, another thing is, like, Oliver was all over the media at the end of season 3 because everyone suspected him of being the Arrow.
But then he got exhumed of that.
Yeah, but that's because the other Arrow was, like, Roy claimed to be the Arrow and was found and then killed off. But now you have another Arrow back. Just a slightly different name change, but basically the same Arrow back. I guess no one saw that Arrow before, but, like, how does your mind not instantly jump to the only other accused person of that?
I don't know. I heard of this theory about a lot of superheroes and like how people just like don't figure it out. I think part of it is that, especially if you like the superhero, you like just don't want to know. You know what I mean? Like, cause like you know the consequences of that, so you may like kind of know in the back of your head, but you don't really know. Like the same reason that people can't figure out that Clark Kent's Superman. It's like they just don't want to know because they know that he can't be Superman if they know.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. It just that was my initial reaction, I guess, because we're viewers, so it's a lot easier for us to put it together.
Yeah, we're definitely developing that critical eye that's going to make us cynical and miserable.
Jesus, that was good. Thanks, Damien.
You're welcome.
But I think that probably wraps it up here at the Media Men headquarters.
That was our take on the episodes. I enjoyed them greatly.
Yours.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought. Give us a like. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your dad.
Subscribe!